Mike Borg, how are you?
Not too bad in yourself.
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here with you doing this. Seriously, your introduction into Nova Scotia is so welcomed, and I feel a buzz whenever I talk about you. You have your reputation precedes you too, I might add. There's a whole lot of people here that I've talked to in the short while that you and I have been talking about doing this, who know who you are and what you do and where you're coming from, and have actually even have a little bit of inkling as to what the school is all about. So
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, no, it's been really, I feel a momentum here when I talk about it, and it's new and it's fresh and it feels feels like new information coming in. It really
Yeah.
does. It feels like that really high end frequency stuff that you're bringing in here. So I'm just going to jump in on you because I mean, you and I've met recently, so I'd like you to just tell me a little bit more about who Mike is. How did you get to Sussex, New Brunswick? And tell me a little bit about your history. Like, how did you get to be doing what you're doing?
Well, I'm originally from Markham, Ontario, so just outside Toronto. My wife and I moved here to New Brunswick 7.5 years ago. And it was the moment we stepped foot in Sussex. I felt a huge rush of energy through my body and just looked at my wife and said, "This is it. We're home." And we went back to Ontario. A month later, I closed up my practice. She quit her job, and we took the chance and relocated to Sussex. No family, no job, no friends. We had nothing, and started a new life. And it's been wonderful because I've been able to establish a practice here and step into my true gifts. I started my career as a registered massage therapist, and I did that professionally for 15 years in Ontario. Uh, and yes, while it was rewarding work, it's tough work and it's hard on the body. And it was about 7 years into, well, probably about 4 or 5 years into that career path. As a massage therapist, we're forced to take extra training. And I started to sort of dive a little bit deeper into the energetic world. The first course I ever took in my life, I was 15, and it was a therapeutic touch class. So got my introduction into energy work and energy healing. But I dove deep into some more advanced energy healing practices. I took the entire body talk modules, all of them. I dove deep into many other more advanced energy techniques. And uh, over the years, what I really found I was struggling with was a lot of the limitations and rule structures that I found were implemented and pushed in these techniques. And it really limited my ability to just show up and be me. So I got to a point in my development, especially as I was ending the end of my massage therapy career, uh, that I had to let go of the labels. I had to let go of the rules and just understand that what I'd learned were tools in my toolbox, and I had to honor who I was becoming, and the knowledge and the abilities I had. And the moment I let go of all those rule structures and labels, everything changed for me, um, which led me to developing my practice, the EnerQi Healing, and I have an EnerQi Healing system I teach, and the skeletal realignment is a part of that. So skeletal realignment came about uh, from my massage therapy background and my massage therapy training. I had anatomy and physiology knowledge, and I realized how important that really was. And I've been trained in over 60 different modalities,
Wow.
lots of training, lots of tools in my toolbox, but not a single one of those courses ever taught anything about anatomy. So I kind of took it for granted. But it wasn't until I started teaching the energy healing system I realized how much of an advantage that really was. So that's a lot of my goal in the work I'm bringing forward and the courses I do want to teach is to give that foundation, even if it's just a basic foundation in anatomy and physiology and how the body works, um, to help sort of step up the level of professionalism that can and is present in the world of energy.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so beautiful. There's so many questions I have just from just from that one statement. Just tell me, just touch on energy healing, your system, because is that a when you talk about it, it feels like a really high fusion of all of the modalities that you've put together, that you've run through your own system, and that has kind of come out the other end looking like an offering that is so beautifully aligned with who you are. And I mean, that's so key. And you know what, when I went on to and spent some time on your website, I have to say that that is one of the things that jumped out at me first and foremost um was your beautiful insistence. It's because there was a sort of an insistence there, um that we are the answer. Because, and I mean, maybe I'm reading into that, but that really, with what you've created with your own system, with what you're doing with Skeletal, it really does feel like you're inviting people in to find their own gifts and find their own voice, and put and sort of maybe even restructure what they think about their gifts, their current gifts, because I
Mhm.
feel like you that there's a lot of focus put in on protocols, and you know, you got to do it this way and follow that, and then there's this sort of procedural thing. I think we're going way off book here. I think that is old information, and I really feel like when we step into and you just show up, what comes and marries with all of your skills is a completely university level, beyond
Mhm.
university level capacity to uh, heal. I'm resistant to the word healing. You'll know this about me because
Me
it
too.
kind of it denotes that there's
Yeah.
something wrong. I don't believe that. Um, so just talk to me about the EnerQi. Talk to me about your system and how that kind of came about, and how you yourself came to the understanding that um, it's all there. It's all here for us. And if we can just kind of step out of all of the box like thinking, then we can it just exponentially grows, expands.
Well, for me, the energy healing system is, uh, I like to say there's no rules in the energy healing system. The way I've set it up is to meet each individual that I teach it and that I work with where they're at. No matter what their level of understanding or awareness is, I meet them at that level and help to show other possible perspectives and potentials that do exist within us all. Um, like I said, I've taken 60 different courses. And in my construction and development of the energy healing system, it was really about letting go of all the fluff and the sparkles and the rainbows and all the stuff that I felt really didn't work. And I took the core knowledge and experience I gained over my years of training and experience and consolidated it into here's what you need to know. The big thing when I teach, I don't really necessarily teach you technique. I teach you how to take the information I share and find your own unique way of expressing and utilizing that information to create change. Because what works for me and the way I see and perceive things isn't necessarily how you're going to or someone else is going to see that. But if you have that core understanding and basis of what is possible, and then sprinkle in a little bit of your unique beauty and essence into the approach, that's where miracles happen. And a lot of it, you touched on is, in my experience, the clients I've worked with who get the best results are the ones who are actively participating in their journey towards health, balance, wellness, and understanding. The more involved a person is, and the more they begin to take charge and take control of what's happening in their lives, the quicker, more profound the shifts are. Those clients who come in and just expect me to be the one to fix everything, it's a hard, tough road, because it's not my job. It's not my job to
No.
fix people. It's my job to empower you so you can take control of your life and allow for those changes to happen. And it's miraculous when it happens. So
Yeah.
again, the energy healing system is, when I teach it, it's really more about your own personal journey. It's to help you develop and understand a deeper connection of who you really are, at that deep, almost esoteric level. And as you begin to unravel and connect deeper and deeper with your true essence, then how you express it and how you're able to help other people through the knowledge and guidance that I've shared with you, it's the possibilities are endless.
They really are. And you know what? And as you're talking, I feel this swirl around your words, because really what you're doing and what I'm doing, and it's funny that we should meet at this time, is that we're creating a paradigm shift is really
Yeah.
what we're doing,
Yeah.
along with a whole bunch of other people who have really, really, really the understanding now that we are who we've been waiting for in every single context. And
Correct.
especially when it's health and it's to do with our wellness, our being, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical. Gone are the days, very shortly, gone are the days that we're going to spend 10 years on a therapist table, that we're going to have to seek out white coats for any kind of, medical intervention. Of course, the white coats are always going to be necessary. They are. They serve a very, very practical function.
Correct.
But they become a detriment when we are unable to go to ourselves first and go, hey,
Yes.
can I legitimately heal this? Can I legitimately address or hear what this ailment or is trying to get me to see? I think that for me is the most interesting part of the wellness portion of things, is that is the growing consciousness and understanding that what we experience in the body is simply a call to go deeper. There's deeper things, deeper issues, deeper understandings that are pushing to the surface, and the body is now out of somewhat alignment. So there's a disconnect between the body mind, and there's so much in there that we could talk for days about that, and I know you're limited on time. So I just want to jump in and just tell me about skeletal. Just give me a little nugget about skeletal, because my first question to you is, does anybody need any kind of prerequisite to not only come take the course, but to really get the meat from the course? Do you need to have any kind of prerequisite for that?
Well, skeletal realignment came about, again, through my years of experience, and it really, from that experience I had as a massage therapist, and realizing how sort of tense and stuck, a lot of people's bones and joints really are. And I started to see a real need for it, uh, because when I first moved here, I was dealing a lot with a lot of structural issues in people's backs, um, vertebrae misaligned, sacrum and pelvic issues and stuff. And when I started to see this pattern of the people I was attracting, I started to realize, okay, there's something that I need to take this to a deeper level rather than just treating the specific vertebrae that's out of alignment. What if we bring the entire skeleton into alignment? What could happen? And again, my approach is very simple. The simpler things are, the quicker and more profound the results are. And part of the problem with a lot of energy work is that people think it's complicated. And
Mhm.
the more complicated you make it, the more complicated it is to implement. But when we truly understand that life is meant to be simple, we're the ones that get in the way and make it hard. So I kind of put together this idea and this approach of, uh, let's work with the body. Let's work with the bones and joints and muscles of the body and help to realign the whole structure rather than just being reactive to a problematic area. And again, through my years of training experience, I understand the depth of how emotions and trauma get stuck in the body. And I when I first did the skeletal realignment, I actually had 6 people who volunteered to sort of be my test subjects, so I could see like, is there actually something here, or am I just kind of out on a limb? So I actually started with doing postural assessments. See, like, okay, how is your body aligned? And again, bringing in that massage therapy background, so I could see how their body was twisted, where their holding patterns were. And then I would do a session, working through every bone and joint in the body, helping to release stress, tension, and whatever else is stuck in those areas. And the results were absolutely incredible. There was one lady who grew 6 inches after a session
Wow.
just from releasing the stress and compaction through her spine and through her pelvis. She grew 6 inches. It's incredible,
Amazing.
right? And you know, as I've implemented this more and more over the years, just seeing long chronic pain patterns disappear, freedom and mobility come back, and helping people to be able to move through those unprocessed emotions and traumas that have been stuck in the body, that have manifested as the pain and tension. It's really incredible. And to your question about prerequisites, right now, these I have the skeletal realignment coming up there in Nova Scotia. I have one here in New Brunswick as well, at the beginning of May. Those have no prerequisites. Going forward, these may be the last opportunities to take skeletal realignment without any prerequisites, because the few times I have taught it, I have realized that there have been some students who don't have that foundation in energy, what it is, and how it really works. So I am beginning to grow and expand out the EnerQi Healing system. So in the future, it may be after this class here in Nova Scotia, but it may also be later on this year. There will be prerequisites in order to take skeletal realignment. It'll kind of be like a module 3 out of the system, but my goal is to give that foundation, help people to understand the body on a deeper level. So when they step into something like skeletal realignment, they'll just be able to take it to a much deeper, more profound level.
Wow, right on. So let me just wrap this because I know you got to go, but I just want to ask if I'm considering coming to do skeletal in May here in Nova Scotia, will I at the end of that, will I be able to adjust myself? Will I be able to adjust someone else? Like, what am I leaving with exactly?
Uh, we spend a good portion of the class. I do teach the anatomy. I teach the basic anatomy of all the bones, joints, and structures of the body. Because when you can see and visualize and understand what it actually looks like, you can be so much more precise in your visualization as you are doing these release techniques. So as I teach different anatomical parts, there's also lots of opportunity to practice the release techniques through these areas. Not only do we talk about the physical anatomical structures, there is, as you probably know, and some other people may be aware, that different parts of our body do affect and represent different aspects of our consciousness and our personality. So I do also share that information and how to identify that in these different parts of the body. And we can start to understand, something as simple as our shoulder and shoulder pain. If there's no physical trauma, there could be actually issues around responsibility and burdens you've taken on in your life that have become so overwhelming is destabilized the functioning of the shoulder. So I teach you about all those different aspects of consciousness, and how they actually do impact all the different joints and areas of the body. and how to identify and how to also release and create the shift in those parts of the body in relation to those aspects of consciousness. Uh, and yes, there's lots of practice time. You do get to practice shifting and realigning each of the joints. At the end, you also will give and receive a full 1 hour full body skeletal realignment treatment. So you can
Oh,
see what it's like to actually, let's do every joint in the body. And if you were to do sessions on people, this is what an entire skeletal realignment 1 hour session looks like, and how to implement it. I also teach you how to implement these different techniques in if you're in the middle of doing another treatment. Say you are a massage therapist and you're massaging somebody and you're like, oh, I just need to do this technique on a certain part of the body. I'll show you how to implement that into any technique or approach you're doing, whether it's a physical manual technique or other energetic techniques. Yes, you can treat yourself. I treat myself all the time. And again, you get that time and that practice to learn how to implement these techniques and these approaches with other people, even animals. Animals respond very quickly to this type of work.
oh my, you just hit all the buttons. Oh my God. I'm so excited to have this happen. I seriously am. I get full body chills when you talk about it because this is really next level healing, and that's really what it feels like. It feels like a paradigm shift is really what you're
Yeah.
after here. And that's what it feels like.
I had to go through that deep paradigm shift in the way I approached and the way I saw things and worked. And as I stepped through that paradigm shift and stepped into the simplicity that really is, yeah, I have lots of training, lots of experience, but it was a profound paradigm shift on all levels within myself and within the work I do. When I allowed myself to step into the simplicity of life and energy work.
Well, that's really where we're going, and that's where I feel the deepest call for the work that I do too. Is like, just please, can you just stop making it so complicated?
Yeah,
It's the more simple, the more streamlined, the more straightforward, the more calm and like open, the easier things shift. They just
yeah.
do. It makes sense. It really does. We overcomplicate things, and then things just shut down and become compartmentalized, and then it's not necessary. So thank God for you, Mike, and the amazing work you're doing, and that you're going to bring here, thankfully. So, just to recap, you are going to be here, my friend, on Saturday and Sunday, May 25 and 26, and
Yep.
we are going to put you in the lovely East Hants Chiropractic Clinic in Shubenacadie. So, for those of us that are living in the province, Shubenacadie is about 40 minutes north of Halifax, about 20 minutes south of Truro. And we are on the, I believe it's the Lighthouse Trail, that has its own special, unique energy in this area with the Shubenacadie, and that just brings in a whole other level of power. And like just the tidal power itself is just such a clarifying experience. So we can work with that energy here as well when you're here too. So all the information that you would possibly need to know about Skeletal is on your website. You can either hit activation sessions up. There's also all kinds of information there. To purchase or to reserve your spot, you're going to contact you directly. There is a link on Mike's site. You cannot miss it. It is there visible. Just hit the link and you're going to make those arrangements directly with you.
Yeah,
And
so they can register and pay for the course right through my website. It's www.enerqi healing. That's ENERQI healing.ca. I'll add a link to that hopefully here in the video as well.
excellent. Well, and we might just do this again. We might just jump on with a couple of random questions from different people. You never know.
I
That could
love
be
it.
fun too. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, let us wrap this because I know you got to go. So you're a busy guy. I want to thank you so much for jumping on here today and just sharing with the world your amazing vibe and what it is that you're bringing to this province is groundbreaking. And I know that there's going to be a lot of buzz about this as we get closer to the date. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Carrie. And I'm definitely excited to come down to Nova Scotia to meet a whole new group of talented and wonderful practitioners out there, and to help bring some simplicity into their approach, and watch them change the world by changing themselves first.
Oh, so exciting. I'm so there with you.
Thank
All right,
you,
my
Carrie.
friend. Thank you. Talk to you soon.